Do you think it's possible for us to address the issues that you're talking about and fix this without some sort of major crisis or revolution, or I don't know what form it takes, but do you think we can get there without the madness?
Well, we can't get there without a crisis. We're in a crisis. We're in several different crises right now. So there's no way of avoiding a crisis. And of course, we haven't really talked about it, but there's a climate crisis as well, which is intimately linked with this, because if you're a market fundamentalist, you don't want to re-engineer businesses to make them green and make them carbon neutral. You want to just permit them to carry on doing what they're doing. And if it causes crises, well, those crises are predictable. If you play your cards right, you can make money out of those crises. So really, what's the problem? So we've got the crises. It is, I believe, absolutely possible without very, very radical change for us to get back onto a much better path. And we have the evidence in our own history that it's possible for us to have a much more successful system. Also, there are more than 200 countries in the world. If you look around the world, you'll see a lot of them are run very, very badly, but some of them are run much better than others. And you can see, well, actually, there are some things that we could learn from those successful ones if we wanted to learn the lesson. And so we could make a series of changes which would be perhaps radical reform, but wouldn't, in theory, need to be a revolution. We wouldn't need to have mass executions in the streets and so on to achieve this change. Now, of course, the fact that it's possible doesn't mean that we will do those things. And my guess is that if we don't do them peacefully, then there will be some kind of revolution or something. But I'm hopeful for two reasons that we can do it all peacefully. One is that the facts are very clear. If you actually go to the facts, you go to the source, it's like climate change. People can deny it as much as they like, but actually the facts are clear. And it's the same with these economic things. When I was doing the research from the book, I kept thinking, this is so obvious. These facts are so clear that if enough people become aware of the facts, then we will see pressure build to change. And Extinction Rebellion, I think, did a very good job of moving the climate crisis from something which everybody had heard of, but they didn't take it very seriously, into being something which everybody thinks, actually, this is urgent, we need to be acting right now. So, in principle, we know that kind of change in consciousness can be achieved. And secondly, it's just the numbers. 99% plus of the population do not want to see the market fundamentalist idea implemented. There are many people who are comfortably into the top 1% who would hate to see a future like that being built. So we're really talking about a very tiny number of enormously influential people who are holding this whole thing together. But they can't do anything on their own. They can only do it with the complicity, witting or unwitting, of the other 99.9%. And if it gets to the point where we have the same sort of or even hopefully greater level of awareness of what this market fundamentalist agenda is actually doing, as we do of climate change, then I think there's a very real prospect that the combination of the force of numbers, the fact that they can't actually do anything on their own, and the fact that all the evidence is really very unequivocal, means that we have a real prospect of a peaceful transition to a much better state rather than having to have a revolution.
Thanks for making it all the way to the end of the podcast. Don't forget our sponsor, ExpressVPN, and my book, Brexit, the Establishment Civil War, can both be found in the links in the description below. And also, please like, share, and subscribe to this podcast. It's the best way to help us grow. Until next time, thanks for listening.